It's your fancy. You can have it any way you want. Your fancy. You can have anything you like. It's your fancy. You can have it any way you want. Your fancy. You can have anything.
This is for you, Leo. February is the month of the angelic frequencies of the gemstone of Amethyst. Now, your birthstone is Peridot, Leo, so what we need to do is see how these two gemstones resonate with each other. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. Thank you for joining us. To contact me, you can visit www.readingsbyrosemary.com, where we provide you with information on our spiritual consultations, our psychic astrology, our Rosicrucian Kabbalah, as well as classes and our upcoming seminars. And stay tuned, because we're going to give you a little taste of two of our newest classes, which are subcategories of the Merkaba and Kabbalah classes, and having to do with manifestation, again, in Merkaba. And it's one of them is about the identity of God and Satan, Ha-Satan, and the other one is about how to manifest miracles in your life. And so we're going to give you those, some of that information later on. It's very, very interesting. It's fabulous. So stay tuned for that. Now, February's gemstone of Amethyst has the light emanations of the astrology archangel Cambriel, and your zodiac sign gemstone of Peridot has the properties of light bestowed by the zodiac archangel known as Virchiel. Your ruling planet is the sun, and for your gemstones for the sun, Leo, we have sunstone, citrine, ruby, amber, and red garnet, also yellow tiger's eye. And these are your precious stones used to align oneself with the energies of the planetary angel Michael, who is assigned to the planet Sol in Kabbalah, since this angel applies varying levels of correction towards what I like to call an individual's ego matrix or a personality matrix. That is the definition of Ha-Satan, the very definition of the adversary or Satan. Ha-Satan, the adversary. Now, for, again, your zodiac birthstone, Leo, is Peridot, but your solar gemstones, again, are the ones we had just mentioned, the ruby, citrine, sunstone, these types that have that sun energy, that solar energy, where the solar deity is very much infused in these very precious gemstones. Archangel Michael, or Michael, fortifies the soul, feeding it from the seeds of philosophical gold made abundant through daily and moment-by-moment crucifixion of the ego. It's important to remember that introversion, bashfulness, and shyness are constriction of the light, and this type of personality restriction is therefore the largest expression of one's own ego, because it implies that people are observing you, when in reality they are actually only looking at and thinking about whom? Themselves. That's right. Therefore, be mindful of your own inner soul and your own inner solar power when utilizing these potent gemstones in unison with each other. When we combined these gemstones, as we are showing you how to do at this time. The archangel of the sun, who is Michael, commanded by God in Daniel 12:1-3, but at that time shall Michael rise up, the great prince, who standeth for the children of thy people, and a time shall come such as never was from the time that nations began, even until that time. And at that time shall thy people be saved, every one that shall be found written in the book. And many of those that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some unto life everlasting, and others unto reproach, to see it always. But they that are learned shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that instruct many to justice as stars for all eternity. The sun is known as the attribute of God the Son, found in John 1:4. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. Your fire guardian Archangel Michael speaks to you from your Leo astrology Archangel Virchiel. This is an angelic horoscope transmission from your Leo zodiac angel Virchiel, who resides over the lion's fixed fire nature, and here are his messages for you in love, money, and health. Virchiel's love, rapture, and romance transmission, the golden, yellow, angelic light frequencies of Virchiel combined with immense vitality oscillating forth a considerably vibrant, lustrous light show from the gemstone of Amethyst improves your relationships, bringing you a fortunate reputation. This permutation of Zodiac Angel Cambriel's natural 11th house attributes, in addition to your own Leo energies, brings you a plentiful amount of first-class friends with the traditional zodiac sign of Aquarius because of the delightful properties of the gem, which distills happiness through an enlivening of the heart chakra, permeating into the physical world via vivacious expressions of the root chakra. Regarding the money and Virchiel's wealth transmission for you, this part is about the finances and how the economic system and the world global economic system, and as well as in each individual country and state and whatnot, are becoming extremely organized and scientifically applied. And it's very sophisticated, the economy as it is now. It's quite interesting to study economy, the subject of economy, and this is what's becoming more, what everybody's becoming more akamai about these days, where even those of us that didn't really study it in school or in college, we still were learning about it now, and it's extremely interesting. And akamai just means smart in Hawaiian. But anyway, another thing to remember as we move into our getting more and more firmly into the age of Aquarius, ruled by Saturn, what you want to remember is that in reality, according to Kabbalah, nothing happens. Nobody does anything that the Creator hasn't already prescribed to be done. Nothing happens without the Creator causing it to happen. Everything you do is caused by the Creator. We thinking that we have all this free will and choice to do all these things, it's really not true. Creator does everything. Everything that's done to you, everything you do to others, it's all the Creator functioning and using the creative force called Bore to create a situation where the Creator is conscious and the creature is conscious. Simultaneously, they become conscious, and there is just the will to bestow, the will to receive, and the Creator creates something because it wants to have the experience of that thing that's created experiencing pleasure, and the Creator wants to experience pleasure in giving to the creature. But the focus of the Creator is always on the creature, not on himself. For all intents and purposes, the Creator doesn't exist because he only bestows and is only obsessed with the creature. So this is very similar to, those old Frankenstein movies, Dr. Frankenstein and the monster and Frankenstein's monster. So many of the themes in stories and movies are ultimately about that. So remember that when you're feeling like a victim, or you're feeling guilty about that you thought you might have victimized someone else, just remember that you can't do anything without the Creator anyway, and it's Creator doing everything anyway, so nobody really has responsibility for anything. Not really. Now that doesn't mean we don't do what we're supposed to do each day, but that's what you need to remember. That is ultimately the truth. There is free will, and the free will comes when you choose to fill your mind and fill your day and your time with the things either of the Creator when studying the Bible or studying Kabbalah, or whether you're going to fill it with something else that is more earth-based or more mundane. You can fill it with the things of the Spirit, or you can fill it with the things that are mundane. There's no judgment. It's just that there's a lot of there's total forgiveness in the Kabbalistic system, because you don't have any say in anything anyway. And there's something prescribed for you to do at each moment. You don't have to worry about it. And in the other world, where you think you have all this free will and this freedom, it's actually just a mess. And in that part of the world where it's just all the mundane and it's all the just doing whatever I want, you're also being controlled by Creator and to a different ultimate purpose. Now, everybody does what makes them happy, because the point is what's making you happy. And that's where everybody gets to be happy, even though it might seem like everybody wants something different, because not everybody wants the same thing. So that's what you need to remember. So remember, there's no need to feel guilty. All right. Now, again, regarding Virtual's health and fitness transmission. Health focuses on strengthening the root chakra and the lower legs, best done through a healthy, balanced diet and moderate exercise as allowed by your elected physician. You will find the energetic frequencies of sunstone or citrine mixed with amethyst very stimulating and giving you a lot of energy and invigorating you during February, causing you to feel more like you want to do the things you know give you more energy, more vitality. Your root chakra is deemed to be the most important chakra in some cultures, which consider that our familiar chakra arrangements are actually presented to us in an upside-down fashion. One should also keep in mind that although people should be treated fairly, men and women are not the same in the anatomy of their chakras. Most ancient methods of building chi or ki in the body via energy pathways are based on energy configurations found in the male body. What makes a man invigorated or full of energy, females often find those types of situations quite draining, and also vice versa. Therefore, you must know your own body and trust yourself. Keep in mind that some males have many female astrological characteristics, such as water and earth attributes in their astrology charts, while some females might have male characteristics due to strategically placed fire and air elementals in their birth charts. Astrocartographic considerations must also be brought to light for a complete revelation of inner characteristics, now coming squarely and more clearly into view. Now, as promised, we're going to give you a little bit of information from some of our classes that are part of our manifestation series regarding the Merkabah Kabbalah. Merkabah is a very sort of a very advanced form, part of Kabbalah. And the first part is talking about who is God, who is Satan. God is the ego, brought to its fullest expression, and then objectified for use by the soul towards achieving a higher state of being and a more expansive, integrated consciousness. Hasatan, or Satan, is the ego brought to its state of least expression, where all desires are denied, subdued, and restricted due to subjective survival, contracted and isolated consciousness. So what we've got here is we've got a situation where God is He who expands His consciousness, and He who gives of Himself and lets the ego be very large. But while doing that, objectifies said ego and seeing the soul as something near and dear, and then the ego being something that one objectifies and deals with and uses. And at one point, even the soul is in the same position, and that's the destruction of the soul, which you have to let Creator perform on you. You have to allow the soul to be destroyed, so that, and consumed, because it says in the Talmud that one of the rabbis on Saturday, which you're not allowed to work on the Saturday, if the egg, falls out of the nest, then it rolls down, then you're not allowed to pick it up because you're not allowed to work on the Sabbath. So he puts a bowl over it. And I believe, if memory serves, I believe his name was Yeshua. But anyway, he puts a bowl over it to save it for consumption on Sunday. So your soul's consumed by an entity upon death, and it's going to, either be one entity or another, or there might be more than one. But this is telling you that your soul is consumed. You have to allow that, and then you reach a point where you do not exist. When you reach the point where you don't exist, you're in the state of Creator. You're in semblance of form with Creator, because you are only bestowing, because you're thinking not of yourself, only of others. You're objectifying everything, and you're what? Filling it with delight, and you're what? You're caring for it. You are caring for it. As a proper disciplinarian who disciplines out of love, not out of wanting to harm somebody. All right, now, Hasatan is the ego, in contrast, again, brought to its state of least expression. So it's a restriction, a recoiling of the ego, who is Hasatan. And it is an aesthetic life where one is like only wears a robe and only holds a bowl out and eats whatever is put in the bowl, and and all desires are denied. Almost every single religion does that. Deny your desires, deny, and minimize your ego and deny your desires. And then, but the main thing is then you subjugate that ego, and you're inside it, so you cannot see it, and you cannot care for it, and you cannot deal with it, and you can't offer it up on the altar of sacrifice to Creator. You cannot offer yourself to anybody, because you don't have the ability to say, well, somebody needs your help. You can't help them. You need help yourself. Whereas the ego that's expanded can help everybody. The ego that's restricted can help no one. And so there you have and you're subjective. You're inside of it. So, and it's very survival oriented, and it's contracted and isolated, and it's an isolated consciousness. Now, we're not saying good, bad, or whatever. We're saying that these are the different states, and some people want that, and some people don't. Some people, whatever makes you happy is what you're going to do. And there's permutations on this. I mean, you could take some of those integers, like objectified or subjective, and you could switch them around. You could get a permutation of that situation, and there's, it becomes probably a mathematical thing at that point. So it's very interesting. Kabbalah and Merkabah is very, very interesting. Now I'd like to give you a portion of our manifestation seminar called The Miracle, and it's see yourself as so big. The job for which you are applying is easily accomplished the moment you step through the door. Envision yourself as so powerful that a simple well-rehearsed signature saves a forest. Know yourself as having so much integrity that all beings around you heal miraculously in your presence. Disclaimers in order here. High magic should be used with all mindfulness, since powerful forces of manifestation are unleashed, intended exclusively for entertainment purposes. Remember to chant your divine tone of I will, or try out the higher aspect of simply meditating on the quality of willing, and be wise, be well, be all you are meant to be, Leo. Thank you for joining us. Join us again.